Mm. Mm. Okay. Mm. Second. Second. الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على سيد المرسلين أما بعد أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الصلاة والسلام عليك يا رسول الله وعلى آلك وأصحابك يا حبيب الله الصلاة والسلام عليك يا نبي الله وعلى آلك وأصحابك يا نور الله. The Prophet of Rahmah sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wasallam said, the closest to me on the day of judgment will be the one who will have recited the most salat upon me. Sallu ala al-Habib sallallahu ta'ala ala Muhammad sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wasallam. Today's topic will be about the rights of family, the rights of offspring, rights of neighbors. Because in today's society, this is a very, very sensitive topic, you could say. Because we have big families, we have family everywhere we go. Well, little we know the respect of them, little we know the respect of our neighbors, little we know how to treat our children so that they grow up to be respectful towards us, so that they grow up to learn the Islamic knowledge, to be successful. So parents should also pay ample attention to the fulfillment of their children's rights. Instead of making them modern, they should try to make their children follow the Sunnah, teach them good manners, and keep them away from bad company, and make them join Sunnah inspiring Madani environments. This should prevent them from indulging in bad habits such as watching films and dramas, participating in sinful customs and traditions in which music is played, making people negligent from the remembrance of Allah Azza wa Jal. Now, just what I've just read here is just teaching us some basics that we should do with our children. Because we all, as we all know, we're in the 20th century. What we like to do is modern. We like to have the best of the best. We like to have the fanciest of the fanciest. If we're driving a car, it has to be the latest. If we're having a wearing clothes, it has to be the latest designer. If we're having a haircut, it has to be the freshest fade. But this is diverting from the path of the Sunnah of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. We need to come back onto this path because success lies in following the Sunnah. Now, if we decide to do our own things on our own accord, and we decide that it doesn't matter, just forget about it, turn a blind eye, then we will not be successful in this world. We will not be able to have the blessings of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and we will not have Allah Azza wa Jal's closeness. Parents should consider that it is the most important right of their children to provide them with the proper education along with any skill and expertise whereby they could earn a living. The body and the clothes of the child are saved from dirt, but no effort is made for the purification of his heart. The beloved and blessed Prophet ﷺ said, it is better for a person to teach his children manners than to give one sa'ah, i.e. approx 4 kilograms of grain in charity. Just elaborating on this, what we tend to do is focus just on one thing. We just focus on the worldly aspect. We focus on giving our child the best primary school education, the best high school education, so that they could get their GCSEs and then they could move on to get their A levels. And once they fulfill their A levels, they can go on and they could go to university, get a degree in the best fields, lawyer, barrister, in the medicine profession, science profession, whatever you name it. We are forcing them this way. We are behind them. Yes, we support you. We support you. And then when it comes to the Islamic side of things, we turn a blind eye. As we all know, it's a standard procedure that a child goes to school, comes out from school, and then he goes to the masjid, goes to the madrasa, he goes to the jamia, whatever he does to study. But when he comes back from the madrasa, do we ask him, what did you learn today? No, he said, Beta, you get your school homework out, forget that, now put your must bag away, forget about it for the next 12 hours, 24 hours. This is our mindset. Now, if this is our mindset as parents, what do you think the children's mindset will be? His mindset will automatically be formed into that show less importance to the madrasa and show more importance to the worldly education. Yes, I am not saying that we don't need the worldly education to live in this world. We need to have some kind of balance. Now, to balance that, we need to go out to learn how to balance it. Not everybody is blessed with the wisdom from Allah Azza wa Jalla on how to balance it. Give you one example. Just in the recent century, Allah Hazrat Imam Ahmad Raza Khan alayhi rahmatur rahman. He was the expert in all the worldly sciences, in all the worldly aspects. And on the same side, he was an expert in the Islamic knowledge. Such a person, he gave us the translation of the Holy Quran in Urdu perfect. Such a person who would embarrass the scientists, the mathematicians, those people who study literature, every single field you could say, Allah Hazrat Imam Ahmad Raza Khan alayhi rahmatur rahman, he embarrassed everybody. This was that person who put his deen first. He put his religion first and then everything else followed. He prioritized his efforts, his studying. He showed equal importance. He didn't favor one over the other. Remember, my dear respected viewers of social media, when we show favor to the wrong thing, I'm not saying worldly education is wrong, but when we show favor to that over the Islamic thing, that's wrong. The fact that we're showing favor over Islam, our deen, that's wrong. Now, if we just follow the deen or we balance things out, everything else follows automatically. Allah Azza wa Jal blesses you with so many bounties. He blesses you with so many blessings. He blesses your house, your parents with long lives, healthy lives. He will bless you so much that you will not know where all these blessings are coming from. Now, in most of our homes, regretfully, there is no Madani environment. A Madani environment is that what we call in Dawat Islami. These days, we are ourselves responsible for this situation to a great extent. Our joking, mocking, discourtesy, bad manners, and extreme carelessness are the causes of this situation. Some of our Islamic brothers behave towards others very politely and humbly, but they roar like a fierce lion at home. This results in damaging one's prestige in the house. Elaborating on this, what we tend to do is outside we show one face to the people of the community, and at home we're another person. Even sometimes I might be guilty of this sometimes as well. Shaitan works in wonders. He tricks the best of people. He wants you to be two-faced, as we call it. Outside, we want to put on a show. And at home, our true colors come out. Because then we're alone, we're with the people who we know. We're with the people who we grew up with. Our parents, our siblings. They all know what we're like, so there's no need to pretend, as we said. Remember, your misbehavior is a very big hurdle in the rectification of your family. If you do not improve your character and don't make others humbly and politely for the reform of your family, you may end up in the damnation of hell. That's how serious it is when we be two-faced. If at home we are not applying what we learned outside, then in the house the blessings of Allah cannot come. Instead, He puts us in the situation where hell will be upon us. Allah Azza wa says in the Holy Quran, Para number 8, Surah At-Tahrim, verse number 6, Ya ayyuhallazina amanu, O believers, Qu anfusakum, save yourselves, wa ahlikum, and your family, naran waquduhan nas wal hijara, from the fire for those who fuel are men and stones. Allah Azza wa Jalla is telling us blatantly in the Quran, save your family from the fire. Whenever we have a fire here, what builds the fire even more? When you fight fire with fire, you get even more fire. Here, the hellfire, the fuel for hellfire is men and stones. Regarding the foregoing verse, it is stated in Kanzul Irfan Sharif, protect yourself and your families from the fire of hell by obeying Allah Azza wa Jal and His beloved Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, performing worship, refraining from sins, guiding your family, towards goodness and forbidding them from evils and by teaching them knowledge and etiquettes. What we tend to do is we feel embarrassed. We feel embarrassed that if we are sat at home or we are sat with the elders and they are doing something wrong that we know is wrong, but we are scared. We are scared to tell them. We are scared to say to them that, Dad, don't do this. Uncle, don't do this. Why don't do this? Because they will try and say to us, why are you being so extreme? But those elders who are listening to me today, don't do this. Don't put somebody in the situation to make them feel uncomfortable because they are trying to reform you. They are trying to help make your betterment, make you a more sincere, humble person. But if you do not follow in their listening in what they tell you to do, then how do you expect to be successful? How do you expect to receive the bounties of Allah Azza wa Jal? The beloved and blessed Prophet ﷺ said, the one who breaks off relations will not enter heaven. This goes on to my next subtopic, you could say, that unfortunately, today's society, we have big families, but there's also big disruptions in between them families. There's big arguments, there's big misunderstanding, there's arguments, there's fighting over this plot of land, there's fighting over this, there's arguing over little petty things. And these, you could say, enmity, this enmity, it lasts for a long time. It doesn't last just for 5 minutes, 10 minutes. It lasts for 5 years, 10 years, 15, 20 years. And unfortunate are those people who die without even forgiving them, who die without even reconciling between families. It is stated on page 201 and 203 of the 16th part of Bahari Sharia with regards to Sila Rahmi. This implies establishing relations, doing relatives any favor, and treating them with kindness. The entire Ummah is agreed that Sila Rahmi is wajib and breaking off relations is haram. Which are the relatives that must be treated with kindness as a wajib obligation? Some scholars have stated that they are zuhrim mahram, and some others stated that they are zuhrim relatives, regardless of whether they are mahram or not. Apparently, the ruling is more accurate. Ahadith contain an unconditional order of treating relatives with kindness. The Holy Quran also unconditionally stated the will qurba, i.e., the relatives. However, as there are different levels of relations, there are also different levels of treating relatives with kindness. Parents have the greatest status. After them is the status of the relative with whom marriage is haram and relation is forbidden. And after them is the status of the rest of the relatives, depending upon how close relationship they have. Allah said in the 83rd verse of Surah Baqarah, وَبِالْوَالِدَيْنِ إِحْسَانًا وَذِي الْقُرْبَى, and be kind to your parents and relatives. Hakim al-Ummad Mufti Ahmad Ya Khan alayhi rahmatul Hannan has stated in Tafsir Naimi, and the word qurba implies relatives. Treat your relatives with kindness, since one's relationship with his relative is created by means of his parental relationship, and the kindness of his relative towards him is lesser than that of his parents. The right of relatives is also softer than that of parents. If a person is in a foreign country, he should remain in correspondence with his relatives so that relationship is not broken off. If possible, he should come to his country so that his ties with his relatives are strengthened. This will also develop harmony amongst relatives. Now, if we're in this situation where we're in a lockdown, now we can't go to our mother's house, we can't go to our father, we can't go to our relatives. But what we can do is use our technology that we have today. We can call them, we can video call them, FaceTime them, so that they can see us and show a bit of love over the phone. That way, relationships they get stronger. It's like blossoming roses. The more you water it, the more beautiful it will be. The longer you leave it, the less beautiful it will be, the more it will not smell pure. Be that rose, my dear respected viewers of social media. The rose which you have to water every day. And if you do not water this, then you could say goodbye to the relationships. They will break. When any of the relatives request help for the fulfillment of his needs, we must help him, because turning down this request is like breaking ties with him. Remember that breaking ties is haram. Now, an example we have is, say if we're a couple of brothers and one brother asked the other brother for some money. Now, in some households, they will start to argue, they will start to fight. Why should I give you my money? This is my hard work earned money. You go earn your own money. You are somebody else. Why should I help you? It's not my problem. This, and that. We have loads of comebacks for it. And blessed are those people who, in whose household, when one is in trouble, the other helps him straight away without him even asking. How blessed are that family? How blessed are those parents whose children have the right upbringing? Just ask yourself this question. In 5 years from now, 10 years from now, 20 years from now, will your children do this? When you get a chance, just sit and look at your children amongst each other. See how they respond to each other. See how they talk to each other. Are they talking with respect? Are they talking with manners? Or are they talking with swears? Or are they talking to each other with disrespect? Just sit down and observe and ask yourself what you can do to make this better. Ask yourself how you can reform them. Remember, reformation starts within yourself. Just like how Amir Ali Sunnati says, I must rectify myself, then the people of the entire world. This in your household, you need to start with yourself. You need to identify what's wrong in yourself. And then after identifying them, how can you rectify them? You need to sit and think for a long time. This is not something that can happen overnight. This is something that will take time. But in the long run, it will benefit you. Because if you sat down today to rectify your household issues and you didn't turn a blind eye from it, then tomorrow you will have peace. If you turn a blind eye today, tomorrow that blind eye will turn back against you. And your children will turn against you. They will put you in an old people's home. When you die, you think they will be there to do your ghusl? When you leave this world, do you think they'll be there to do your Isali Swab? Your Khatme Quran, do you think they'll be there to do this for you on your anniversary of your death? Ask yourself this question. It's a very serious thing. This world is only temporary. The scholars said this world is so short that the azan that is given at birth is that azan for the janazah which you get at the end of your life. So ask yourself this question, my dear respected viewers of social media. Will your children be there for you in the future? Will they be ready to look after you in your old age? Or if Allah Azza wa Jal puts a test on your family and somebody gets ill, will your family, will your children, will your relatives be there in your aid? Ask yourself these questions. If there is any dispute between you and any of your relatives, you should be the first one to contact them. However, if there's no surely reason preventing you from reconciliation with them, so you should refrain from doing so. For the sake of the beloved blessed Prophet ﷺ and the blessings of traveling on the Madni Qaflas every month. And now Balik boy or girl whose father has passed away is known as an orphan. As soon as the boy or the girl reaches puberty, the rulings of the orphan will no longer be applied to them. There is great reward for treating the orphans kindly. As we are in the month of Ramadan, we see a lot of adverts on the TV and these channels where this country requires a water pump, this country requires food package, this country requires aid, medical assistance. Now, if Allah Azza wa Jal has blessed us enough in our houses to do these things, then why shouldn't we? Why shouldn't we offer more help? Why shouldn't we do it with the intention of making these orphans feel happy? Why shouldn't we? All these orphans are going to do is be happy, give us dua. That's what we want. A husband should treat his wife nicely and deal with her wisely. Our beloved and blessed Prophet ﷺ said, women has been created from a rib and you cannot straighten her. If you wish to gain benefit from her, you can do so with her crookedness. If you try to straighten her, you will break her, and breaking a woman means divorcing her. Divorce is a very big issue in society today because we as men expect women to be a certain person. We expect them to be like this, not like this. How can we expect this when Allah Azza wa Jal has told us women are created from men? If you take out a rib is crooked to bend it around you. Women are like this. And if you twist it up, it snaps. So how can you expect women to change? When we get rich day coming through for ourselves, we said that no, this woman should be like this, like this, like this. No. Allah Azza wa Jal has told us how to deal with women, the rights of women, the rights of wives, the husband, how he should treat his wife. It becomes obvious that she will always have some annoying habits. What the husband should do is to always remain patient and tolerant. The noblest Prophet ﷺ said, amongst the true believer is also the one who has a nice character and the most gentle with his wife. Now this comes back to that the way we treat our wife in front of our children. Because our children are very observant. They learn by watching. Now, if they see you do something as a father, they will reciprocate in the future. They will do the same with their children. My father did this in such a way, and this is how I got taught, and this is how I should do it. Now, if you show respect to your wife in front of your children, you show love and affection, then your children will also do the same. They will respect women in the future. This is what we want. We want children to grow up to be respectful in society, to be known for their good manners, not to be known for their disrespect and their attitude. Those rebuking and even beating their wives on a minor issue should ponder over this blessed hadith. To use force and threatening behavior against someone who is naturally weak is not manliness. If the woman forgetfully makes a mistake, the husband should forgive her. As he gets many benefits from her, he should also tolerate her foibles. The Prophet of Rahmah said, a Muslim male can never have enmity for a Muslim female. If he dislikes any of her habits, he may find any other habit to be pleasing. So what the Holy Prophet ﷺ is trying to tell us in this hadith is to focus on the positives. Yes, with positives come negatives. But instead of focusing on the negatives, they will get sorted out time after time. They will take time. But focus on the positives. She may be bad in this, this, and this. She might not cook properly, but she might look after you properly. She might do everything else properly. She might be a good mother to your children. She might be a good daughter-in-law. She might be a good sister. Focus on these positives. And Allah Azza wa Jal will bless you with so much happiness that you will not be able to control it. It is stated that the wife of a person once mixed salt in excess in food. He got very furious, but he managed to control his anger. He says, I also make mistakes, so if I treated her harshly today due to her mistake, Allah Azza wa Jal might also punish me for my sins on the day of judgment. Therefore, he forgave the mistakes of his wife. After he passed away, someone saw him in his dream and asked, how did Allah Azza wa Jal treat you? He replied, torment was going to be inflicted on me due to the abundance of sins when Allah Azza wa Jal said, my bondwoman had mixed excessive salt in food and you had forgiven her mistake. I also forgive you today in reward for that. My dear respected viewers of social media, just look at this example. The only thing that mattered was his intention. He did not say anything to his wife because he didn't want her to get sad. He did it because he was scared of the punishment from Allah Azza wa Jal on the day of judgment. And because of this act, Allah Azza wa Jal did not inflict him with punishment. For the sake of beloved Mustafa sallallahu alaihi wasallam and by the blessings of traveling in the Madani Qaflas every month, you should fill in the Madani Amad. I'll give it to your responsible brother. Because in this Madani Amad, it gives you a tick list. And this tick list will tell you if you have been respectful, if you have done such acts properly. The wife should also behave cautiously though towards her husband. The Holy Prophet ﷺ said, I swear to the one under whose omnipotence my life is. If there are wounds in the entire body of the husband from foot to head, which blood oozes out from, and the woman licks them, still she has not fulfilled the right of her husband. So for my female viewers today, it is very, very important that you do the khidmat of your husband. Because no matter how much you do, it will be as if you have not fulfilled his right. The woman who frequently falls out with the husband over small matters and goes to her parents should read the following hadith. The noblest Prophet ﷺ said, and the wife must not leave the house of the husband without his permission. If she does so, Allah Azza wa Jal and his angels curse her lest she repents or returns. Now we live in a day and age where social media is the norm and we follow how to live our life by looking at celebrities. We see that celebrities, they do this in such a way, they leave their houses, go back home, etc., etc. So we try to copy this. We think that this is normal. That if the husband treats his wife in a bad manner, the wife can leave and go to a normal house. Well, this is not right. The Prophet clearly stated in his hadith, angels curse her unless she returns, and she is not allowed to leave without her husband's permission. Now ask yourself, first of all, for my male viewers, why are you putting your wife in this situation in the first place? Ask yourself, what are you doing wrong? Because you are not bent, you are straight like the rib. So you can be molded, but the woman will take a bit of time. The rib eventually it grows, it expands. So the woman will also grow and expand. Her faults will turn into positives. But you need to ask yourself, why are you putting her in this situation in the first place? May Allah give us the ability to act upon this. Now, some women are extremely disobedient, ungrateful to their husbands. If their husband gives them the best of the best, they require more. If they are not working and the husband is the only one financially secure in the house, the female wants more money so that they can go shopping, so that they can buy things. And if the husband does not provide, they start to argue and fall out. The Reverend and renowned Prophet ﷺ was once going to the Eidgah on Eid day. He ﷺ passed by some women and said, "O women, give charity, as I have seen most of you in hell." The women asked, "Ya Rasulullah ﷺ, what is the reason for it?" The beloved Prophet ﷺ replied, "You often curse and are ungrateful to your husbands." My dear respected viewers of social media, it is our job to tell our sisters, to tell our brothers that this is not how they should be behaving in their houses. They should be behaving in a certain manner, according to the teachings of Rasulullah ﷺ, in accordance to the Sharia. If we decide to do things on our own accord, then Allah Azza wa Jal, instead of giving us bounties, will give us lanat. He will give us his curses. Now moving on to the rights of neighbors. Everyone should treat their neighbor nicely and respectfully. A person once came in the court of beloved Prophet ﷺ and asked, "Ya Rasulullah ﷺ, how will I know if I have done something right or wrong?" The Prophet ﷺ said, "When you hear your neighbor saying that you have done something right, so you have indeed done something right. And when you hear them say that you have done something wrong, then indeed you have done something wrong." After your family, your neighbors are the ones who are closest to you. So ask yourself, if you are sat there right now listening to this speech, ask yourself, do you think your neighbors think positive about you? Or do they think negative? It is as if one's character certificate is issued by the neighbor. Today, no one considers neighbors important. For the sake of the beloved Prophet ﷺ, and by the blessings of traveling with the Madani Qafla every month, if you do this, then the Islamic Muballighs of Dawat Islami teach you the rights of neighbors, rights of family, rights of elders. And that way, you will become a more reformed person. The fear of Allah Azza wa Jal will build in your heart by traveling on the Madani Qafilas. This is why it is my request to all those who are watching to make the habit of watching Madani channel, because on Madani channel, Amir Ahl Sunnat, Damat Barakatum Al Aliyah, all the Rukni Shuras, Nigrani Shura, all these, they do our, you could say, Sila Rahmi every single day. They tell us how to do these things. Because of lockdown situation today, everybody is at home. Everybody is getting tired of each other. We're getting frustrated. But how fortunate are them families who are spending quality time with each other, who are iftari time, they are sat on the floor together or sat around the table together as a family. How fortunate are them ones that Allah Azza wa Jal has blessed their houses to have this fortune. And how great and grateful are those who yet they still have the best of the best, yet they are still not happy. They require more. Those are the people who will struggle when they die because they will regret their decision. May Allah Azza wa Jal give us the ability to act upon what has been said, and first and foremost, gives me the ability to fulfill the rights of my parents, my neighbors, my teachers, and my relatives, and then go ahead and teach others as well. Ameen. Bijahin Nabiy Amin. Sallu ala Habib. Sallallahu ta'ala ala Muhammad. Sallallahu alayhi wasallam. MashaAllah, we have some viewers today. Munir Ahmed Ashrafi. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullah. MashaAllah, Saqib Bhai. MashaAllah. I'll tell you now, I am no scholar, I am no Maulana, I am no Alama. I am just a student of knowledge. And do dua for me as well, that Allah Azza wa Jal makes me a pious, practicing Mufti of Dawat Islami and gives me the ability to act upon my knowledge. I need your duas so that you can make me into a better person as well. MashaAllah, Ya Attar 72, Salam wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. MashaAllah, Mustafa, by MashaAllah, Jazakallah khairah to all the viewers. It is my request that you share this, and this will also be on YouTube available on Darul Razak's page. So, inshallah, share this, give this a like as well, and tell everybody that every day there will be a live bayan on these topics. Whatever topics you like, if you could send your comments through, and inshallah we could do them topics as well. May Allah Azza wa Jal give you a long, healthy life, give your parents a long and healthy life. And inshallah Azza wa Jal, tomorrow we shall be here again at 4:30. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.